Well, we got these irons installed last time on this 11-passenger Yellowstone Park stagecoach. These are the irons that hold the chains that go down to hold the luggage rack for all the luggage. And we put the hinges on the back curve down here as well that hinges that back platform for the luggage. Well, these are all original irons for this 11, but I'm doing this 8-passenger as well. And that iron is all from scratch. So before I get too far along, I want to take and pattern these to make duplicates to go to that 8-passenger. Well, where this 1/2-inch round iron comes through the seat brace and bolts to the seat frame on the rear seat, this is 1/2 by 1, and it needs to be drawn down to this 1/2-inch and then tapered down for these 3 bolts. This bolt is actually countersunk like a plow bolt from the back end, so I need to do that. Then on the top, this is also 1/2 by 1. It's drawn down to a 1/2-inch round, has to be drawn down to this hook, and then they lap joint forge welded this iron that comes in here for the 3-bolt pattern that bolts to the frame. So this needs to be an assembly, that bottom needs to be assembly, and then I can weld in the 1/2-inch round. I removed the center hinge of the 3. This is the one that has kind of the drawn out point. The 2 on the edges, they're going to stop about here. But this is 3/8 by 1 1/4, and then they forge welded 1 1/4 by 1/4 into this 3/8 by 1 1/4 for the hinge themselves. One side is punched square to receive the carriage bolt head, and the other side is left round. So I need to make 3 of these. These will be my pattern for all 3. I'll just make the center one a little extra long like they did on this as well. And then this iron catches onto this bolt that's countersunk. This is a 1/2-inch also, drawn out to an eye, comes down to a 1/2 by 1 that's tapered down, and then it is drawn down to the 1/2-inch and welded into this 1/2-inch round. So we'll see if we make it that far or not. So I did gather up some rough stock. I have some 1 1/4 by 1/4, a couple of pieces of 1/2-inch round. Here is some 1/2 by 1. I have some 3/8 by 1 1/4. I think that's going to make all the pieces we need. Well, this is where it ended up at, and I'm close, but I'm not there yet. My curves match really close, and you can see I'm a little shorter on this one, but this is an outside hinge and this is the inside hinge, so I purposely made it a little shorter. I have my other two, and this one is going to be my inside hinge. So, as I put it up against this center hinge, my length is about right here. Placement of my hinge sides are right there. My length is right there. But the biggest place I'm off is in the width of these wings on this hinge. You can see these are a lot thicker here, and I had calculated these at 1/4 inch. Well, I started out with 1/4 inch, but by the time I got them forged on there, these are actually down to 3/16. So I need to start with 3/8 here and probably end up closer to the 5/16 that these measured. And I could tighten up my forge weld here. See, these are a lot tighter. This one's pretty good, but I could have tightened this one up a little bit better. And when a lot of you come and visit, I oftentimes get asked, how'd you learn to do all this stuff? Your wood bending and your blacksmithing and your carpentry and your painting and your striping and lettering and upholstering. This is how I learned. I thought I had it kind of figured out, but yet when I actually do it, well, I would do something different next time. That's the school of hard knocks. So I cut out another piece here that is 4 inches by 1 1/4 by 3/8. I'm going to go through the same procedure, pay a little more attention to my forge welds, and see if I don't come up a little closer to what this one is. So there's my second hinge, and I think it came out a little nicer. These wings of the hinge here are much closer to the same width compared to that first one that I did. My welds are much tighter, much cleaner, both inside and out. Better than what I had on this first one. Overall length, we're doing pretty good. I'm going to trim this off just about right in here, so we're good on our length. I think overall we're much closer. I'll just go ahead and drill this opposite side out. So it would have been real easy to not show you this one at all and just show you the second one that I did and say, well, that's how you do it. But you know, this is how I learn. I misjudged the width of the wings. I didn't have my welds really up nice and tight like they should have been, but now they really look like the old original ones. And that's just the price of tuition when you learn by the School of Hard Knocks. And it's not a bad thing to do, is when it costs you either out of your pocket or time to do it over again, those things stick and you learn from it. And that's how I learn. That's how I've learned everything that I do in here. I never went to school for blacksmithing or anything else in here. School of Hard Knocks. Sometimes it's a pretty high price tuition, but the benefits are worth it. Appreciate you coming along. Thanks for watching.